Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast to the protection against heavy rain and flooding by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
So the big challenge is, how can house owners like you and me get a flood-free home? How can business managers like you and me get a flood-free company? And how can public servants provide flood-free critical infrastructure and livable cities?
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe. This podcast is for foresighted and proactive people who do not want to shovel the muddy water out of their room while standing in the midst of the disaster.
Therefore, those who design and plan, the architects and engineers, need to construct such buildings and cities, and that even when the entire environment is completely flooded. That is a challenge, and this podcast will give the answers.
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
Do you drive a car? Hello and welcome. It's another episode of Flood Protection Secrets. The title today is Ensuring Year-Round Resilience Through Maintenance. Oh, what a name to achieve a lifespan of 100 years. But let's go back to my question. Do you drive a car? So that's what I do. And both in Germany and in the Philippines, where I'm also based. And I would like to take this opportunity to introduce my Filipino partner, co-founder and executive vice president, the beautiful Maria Fatima Viray Uzi. And 3 years ago, she got her brand new car in the Philippines. And when it's brand new, you are happy. So you enjoy it and you drive it and take it for a spin. I should mention what it is. It's a Ford, I think, Explorer or something with X. So as a kind of SUV, what is very important in the Philippines, because you need a certain distance from the ground to avoid flooded streets. So, but anyway, that's not the topic. And when it is a brand new car, yes, you are happy. I said you enjoy it. And you drive it and take it for a spin. By the way, since it was her car, I always have to beg to drive it alone, which she doesn't really like. I drive too much at German speed, she says. I don't know what she means. But that's not the issue today. How men can drive women's cars. I make it up to you. After a week, Fatima noticed that the tank was empty. So no problem, she told herself. She simply drove to the nearest gas station. Full tank? She heard the gas station attendant ask. Yes, she replied. Please, of course. For all those in Germany, France and other countries who are surprised that there are still service staff, they still exist in many countries. And I like it in the Philippines. You stay in the car while the service staff fill up the tank and clean the windows and check the air pressure in the wheels. So after the pit stop, she left the service station and drove on again. Months passed. After about a year, an LED in her car began to flash, prompting her to drive to the nearest authorized workshop to have the car checked. Yeah, all right, she followed. And she didn't want to lose the extended warranty on her car and got an appointment in a week. Bring the car in next Wednesday. It will take 3 hours. You can wait over coffee in our garage, the employee told her on the phone. Later she told me about it. And 3 hours, she heard herself mutter, quite a long time. She briefly considered sending her driver, but then decided to do it herself. It was her brand new car. You remember, I was even not allowed to drive it at the beginning. She wanted to know firsthand if everything was in order and if there were any additional repairs and costs. And she was also kind of curious. So the next Wednesday, the day of inspection, she took her car to the garage at 8 a.m. and she handed it over and went to a nearby cafe to have breakfast. So after 2 hours, she received a call from the garage. And perhaps it also happened to you like that while waiting somewhere and taking a breakfast coffee. Hello, this is Stephen from the garage. The track on the front axle of the car is not parallel. She stopped eating her crispy French croissant and what does it mean for me, she asked. The wheels aren't quite parallel. That leads to more tire wear. You will need new tires very soon. What do you recommend, she asked again. We adjust the track and your problem is solved. Okay, do it, she said. It will cost you extra, ma'am, about 5,000 pesos. For those unfamiliar with Philippine currency, that's about $100. She was silent for a moment and finally she agreed, okay, do it. So then Fatima went on to finish her delicious breakfast, and when she picked up the car, she was happy that the brakes were checked, the electronics were working, all the fluids were topped up, and the transmission fluid and brake fluid, as well as the coolant and windshield wiper system. And then she paid the bill in the knowledge that her car was now working 100% again, with complete peace of mind for her and for her family, friends and colleagues when they were on the road together. Excluding when I'm driving alone, because as you remember, I was not allowed to do so. Most of the time. And how do you maintain now flood protection for your building, for your house if you are a homeowner? So for your company building if you are a businessman, or for public facilities if you work in the public sector. So when Fatima returned from the annual vehicle inspection, she immediately instructed our technical manager to maintain all the flood barriers installed to protect our own business. Yes, we also have our flood barriers installed to protect exactly our fabrication hall. No joke, because sometimes there's heavy rain. So better we are prepared. Imagine how the people would laugh if the flood protection company is flooded. So she immediately took action, and after 2 hours she received a confirmation from our business manager, from our technical manager. Ma'am, we have checked all the barriers according to our certified protocol, and I can confirm mission accomplished. All flood barriers and accessories are perfectly in order. Oh, great. Fatima told him to repeat the same procedure after 6 months, just before the start of the rainy season. So there are 3 important maintenance tasks that you should perform on a regular basis. Let's say you have demountable flood barriers, those stackable aluminum beams. So maintenance number 1, clean your flood barriers after each use. Clean them especially thoroughly after they have been used in heavy rain and floods. Maintenance number 2, rinse the flood barrier and allow it to dry. Then check whether the barrier system has been damaged anywhere. A hidden impact of flotsam may be a reason for the damage. Also check each thread if you are using an anchoring system for center or corner support. And maintenance number 3, dismantle the flood protection barriers and store them properly in a special and certified storage system to prevent damage when storing the wall, the beams. So these 3 maintenance instructions also apply to mobile flood barriers, flood doors, and flood gates. Of course, you don't dismantle flood doors, but you treat them with care. So you also check after having used them, is everything okay? Is anything damaged? How about the ceilings? And is there any damage that you can observe? And are they still functioning properly? So if you have an electrical, pneumatic or hydraulic system, check these components carefully too. For safety reasons, however, you cannot check the system yourself. Please don't do that. Call your authorized service technician who will give you full assurance that the flood barriers are working properly. It's similar for complicated electric things for your car. You cannot do that by your own anymore. Let's summarize it in a way. This episode, you must maintain your flood barriers after each use. Special care must be taken after use in the event of flooding. Automatic systems require maintenance service by licensed technicians and flood experts. And regular maintenance provides you with year-round protection against flooding through maintenance with a service life up to 100 years. And now my golden nugget for you. Authorized annual and semi-annual maintenance of flood protection systems give you complete peace of mind for your building. Everyone in the building, whether family, friends, employees, colleagues, or visitors, will feel safe. And you should ask yourself if you are able to provide the same level of safety as an authorized service person, like the service person at the car repair shop who checks your car after a year and finds that the lane is not parallel in the case of Fatima's new car. So that's up to you to check it, and you can do things by your own if you do it, if you did it. And for all other things, just call an authorized service person who can do that. And if you have questions, of course, you can also call me and ask me. Just send a message to info@floodcontrol.asia, info@floodcontrol.asia, and that would be fine. You can also send a direct message to me, info@andreasklippe.com, info@andreasklippe.com. It's also possible. Yeah, that was the episode about ensuring year-round resilience through maintenance to achieve a lifespan of 100 years. What is possible? Stay safe and flood-free. I wish and hope for you that you make the right decisions when it comes to your personal flood protection. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this podcast channel if you haven't already. Now it only remains for me to wish you a good day. Do something with it. Maybe until the next podcast episode. I would be very happy. See you then. As always, stay safe and flood-free. Your Andreas Klippe and the whole Flood Experts team.
That's it again with the new episode of Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood Andreas Klippe, German engineer, book author, and head of the Flood Experts. What can Dr. Flood Andreas Klippe protect for you? Anytime? Worldwide? Contact us or just click through to www.floodexperts.de/bonus. Detailed engineering, German quality, safe. Flood protection secrets, the secrets you'll want to unfold.
Don't forget, you're only one flood barrier away.
Subscribe to the season, and you'll never be late for an episode.